trenching bucket is only 300, 350 wide, and all you're doing is, by the time you loosen that hole up in the dry time of the year, the shattering effect will be out here, but the actual hole will be quite small. Yeah.
So you just put the teeth in, dig it, just lift it up.
Yeah.
Put it in again.
Yeah. So you leave the topsoil on top and the subsoil below. Good operators, they get to a point where they realize they just go 1, 2, and by the third time he tilts it right in, and then he just pulls, unless he's pulling it out, he's giving it a shake.
And all that's done is just fractured it.
And it's just fractured the soil, and that means when it comes planting time, you have that tray of plants, you have your kidney tray, you load up, and you walk with that tool, and you don't. And this thing stays on the back of the ute. So what's in here eating your seedlings?
Possum, rabbits.
Yeah, that's it. Can you stop possums with these tree guards?
No.
I'll hand this around. Have a look at the grit on the leaves. This is a browsing repellent on these two plants. That's the other one. You see the grit that's stuck to the leaves? So it's a product called Sentry, which you can buy through Shore Grow. But if you Google Sentry, you'll come across that. It's a water-based paint mixed with egg powder to produce a smell. And while it's wet, it stinks, yeah. But it dries off and it's not too bad. Well, I don't think it's too bad. Sally reckons it's rank. But while it's wet, you sprinkle carborundum powder on it, which is sandpaper, aluminium oxide, and it sticks to the leaves so well that it stays on there until the leaves basically have done their turn, which in most plants is a couple of years, until the leaves fall off. Of course, the new growth is not protected at all. If you have a high browsing pressure, the idea of the egg powder is that the animals associate the smell with the grit, so they bite into it once and they get a mouthful of sandpaper and they leave it alone. It works 100% on the stuff that you treat.
Same with possums?
It will work with possums. The only thing, of course, is that it does not protect the new growth.
No.
So you're only protecting what you're putting in the ground. So I'm not saying it's an alternative to a tree guard. It's just another tool in your toolbox. This is a nice healthy young seedling, and this is an old woody plant. If you go into a very heavy frost area and you're planting this time of the year or in July, August, the older, tougher plant has got a better chance of surviving than a young seedling. That's going to be a heavy frost will take that out. This has got an opportunity to regrow. It's accumulated woody material, and the buds are well developed in there, so that even if the new foliage gets beaten by frost, it'll regrow. So again, just reinforcing that importance of planning well ahead so that the seedlings you get for your site are the right provenance, but also good hardy stock for your site. What we do in the nursery, actually, before we send them out, we soak them in, there's a bit of sea salt in it too, but also a wetting agent, so that it really holds the moisture well, so that as they go out and they sit out here in the wind, they hang on to that moisture better. So the seedlings coming out of the nursery should have, ideally, especially if you get into spring, is put wetting agent in your soak. But yeah, definitely sea soil is really good for that purpose too, and for giving them the micronutrients that are so valuable. Reduce the transplanting shock. These things are really good, except what I don't like about them is that on a lot of the projects I do on bigger farms, there's never time to go back and collect these things, or the labor cost to collect them is too high. So if you're going to use them and you reuse them, it's haven't actually. Do you paint those
Yeah,
out?
just been out like that.
The ones I use, we don't. I haven't got that. So you got one hole there for the guard. Yeah, so I'm a bit cautious with these things now because I know there are tens of thousands of them out there slowly breaking down in the sunlight and spreading microplastics everywhere. If you're going to reuse them and get 3 or 4 uses out of them, they're really great. An alternative are these things now. They are a stabilized cardboard that would just rot away.
So with the positioning, like, is there any technique as far as working with the wind or working with the hill or anything like that?
We've tried various ways and have decided that it's almost better to put this into the wind, but it makes very little difference. Have you got a preference?
I started off putting the spike into the wind,
Yep.
and then found that 20% of them have actually spun around and caught the tree and pulled it down, and you lose the tree. So yeah,
Stake on the wind.
probably. I think they're designed to that into the wind, but they actually seem to work a little bit better. I think the other way.
The best thing we find is you put a bamboo stick in this corner here, or any little stick to stop it from spinning, or if you haven't got any sticks, you put a little bit of material under the mat to sort of lock that nose in a bit, and then again on the back of the ute, too far away, I've got a staple gun. We always whack up a staple in here so the wind can't lift it off. If the soil's or your site is growing good grass, good healthy grass like this, there's ample nutrition for growing all your native species. There may even be too much for some. So there's no need to fertilize at all. All you'd be doing with fertilizing is fertilizing the weeds that are growing around the plant, the grass, the grass that's going to grow around your plants. Now the competition, yes. The seedling should outgrow its before the competition comes back to, because something will come back soon and want to grow there.
So if you have a project that you want help with, become a member, put it in our project bank, because that's what we look at. Obviously there's no promises that yes, next year you will definitely get funding for it, but that's a sure way to have a really good chance of getting some assistance with that.